again. My name's Derek Bailey. I've been a wood turner now for over 40 years and taught for the last 8 of them, although those days are over, I think. Now, for some of you who've been keeping in touch with me over the last 2 or 3 videos, I've been showing how I've designed fluting and carving jig. And I've shown the construction of it and I put it all together, and now I've come to actually test it out on some wood with mixed success. The end result is actually a failure, but the lead up to it has been quite good. I'm reasonably happy with it, with a few slight eradications of caveats in the actual turning of the objects. I think we can overcome some of the difficulties I've experienced. Anyway, it'll become obvious as you watch the video, and I'll outline what I think is the cause of the problems that I encountered. Anyway, enough waffling, let's get on. For illustrating my jig, my carving jig, I'm going to make a coffee or a teacup and saucer from mahogany. The reason I'm using mahogany is it's a plain and relatively soft timber, so it should receive embellishments quite well, but it'll be interesting to see how well defined the embellishments are on such a soft timber. Changing the jaws on the chuck are a bit of a bind, but needs must. Here I'm using my little plywood gauge for the size of jaws I'll be using. Here I'm just twisting the parting tool at the bottom of the cut to create a small dovetail for the jaws of the chuck. For this particular operation I've selected the small round nose cutter from the selection shown. Having previously determined the width of the carving section, I'm now setting the stops to reproduce that width. I'm now setting my indexing jig to 20 divisions, and anyone who wants to know how to make the jig, I'll introduce a link in the description to this video. I'm suited with my Ryobi air blower. It's more quiet than a air compressor and more convenient to use. To highlight the carving, I fill the depressions with a soft wax and let it cure for a few minutes after I've applied it, and then put a final finish of sanding sealer and melamine over the top to protect it. A little bit of patience is required here to get a nice even filling on the depressions of the carving, and keep an eye on it. It's very easy to rush this and it looks quite ugly, so make sure that you've filled the whole carving, the depressions, fully. Unfortunately, you can't use abrasives to finish off the finishing process because the dust will collect into the soft filler. So in order to create a nice precise shape, I'm using the screw chisel. It just cuts away the excess wax and leaves a nice defined shape behind. As you can see, there's an alignment fault being created here. It could either be some sawdust that was trapped between the stops, or me not paying due attention. So patience is the key here. After using the screw chisel, as you can see, some of the detail has been removed. I think this is down to slight eccentricity of the item in the lathe. So from this it's obvious that we've got to do the embellishments after truing up the piece in the lathe. Here we've got some more alignment problems. Again, I haven't took too much care into the positioning of the cutter against the wood. Also there's a double cut. Again, it's down to impatience and trying to get the thing done. Due care and attention and double checking before you approach the cutter to the wood is needed here. The problem with testing new ideas is overcoming the unforeseen caveats, and that can take a lot of time to rectify. And it's often small in nature, these caveats, but they have a domino effect on the design as a whole. And the length of time needed to rectify these problems are not conducive to an entertaining video, especially when watching me think could be quite torturous for you. So I've decided to take testing of the jig one step at a time, which would give me a better platform to release videos more often and hopefully keep your interest thriving. Well, my next video will be the testing of the jig, creating embellishments on the saucer, well, on a test piece for the saucer. My final video in this series will be the actual creation of a cup and saucer with hopefully the improved embellishments. So I hope you're still with me on this journey, and with kind regards to you all, and see you in the next video. Oh yes, and please subscribe. Thank you.